Hello, everyone, and welcome to our newest video from Nanda Journeys, this time talking about Japan, our positive and productive aging journey happening this May 17th to the 25th, 2025, with our delegation host, Bobbi Kolonay. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Michael Ziegler, and I'm happy to be joined by my co-host, our founder, Nicola Balmain from Nanda Journeys. Nicola, thank you so much for joining us.
So good to see you again. You know, this is the favorite part of my week is recording our videos, talking about our destinations. So I'm happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about, for those of you that are joining us, tell us a little bit about what makes Nanda Journeys so special.
Well, Nanda Journeys is a company I founded in 2015 after a lifelong career in travel. Started in the United Kingdom, moved to the United States. And when I was working for a travel company that was focused entirely on student engagement and educational programs, I really fell in love with the profound impact of educational travel, the people connections and, the career enrichment programs that we were focused on, connecting people. And I just didn't want that to stop. When they closed in 2015, Nanda Journeys was a natural progression, and our focus is on, integrity in travel, being very conscientious about how we're making decisions about where we go, how we go, what we do when we get there. But Nanda means joy and happiness. So welcome everybody to the Nanda family. Let's hope we have a joyful journey together to Japan.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing that I love about Nanda Journeys is the Nanda way. It's something that was born organically from some of the things that your travelers have said. Tell us a little bit about that, what that Nanda way means to travelers, that journey with Nanda Journeys.
Yeah, I agree with you too. The most beautiful thing about the Nanda way is that we didn't create it. It was organically created, as you say, by our leaders, our guides in country, the people we have engagement with. They just kept saying, we love the Nanda way. I'm like, oh, well, we kind of like the Nanda way too, but that's just how we operate. So what that means for us is that we turn up authentically. Whether it's a conversation that you and I are having now or a conversation with somebody who's considering joining us, there's authenticity, there's honesty, there's integrity, and that's important to us when we're designing the programs too. We keep the communities that we're visiting kind of close in our decision-making process. How can we have a positive rather than a negative impact on them? How can we be socially responsible and be part of their growth rather than their downfall? And that's a conversation in our industry. There's too much tourism. There's high season tourism. People don't want tourists. We want to make sure that you're going to be welcomed at a time that's right for experiencing a country that's going to have a good impact for you and for them. So we do it with purpose. We do it with passion. And we create everything bespoke. So all of the itineraries that we create, and the one that we're talking to you about today, Japan, positive and productive aging, they're created in collaboration with the person leading the journey. So we know that we're getting to the heart of their passion. And that lady is a wonderful person. If you don't know her already, you need to connect with her whether you travel to Japan or not. Bobbi is a longtime alumni of Nanda Journeys. She's traveled with us on many programs in the healthcare field. And Bobbi is an ALCA past board member. She's got great experience in association leadership. She's a certified holistic nurse. She has a beekeeping business as well. There's so many additional things that are not on this list. Bobbi's heart is huge. She travels the world constantly, taking small groups all over the world. And she's so passionate about Japan because of the unique way we can look at aging, how to age positively. Japan has a huge aged population and a low birth rate. So it's a really unique place to explore. Bobbi has so much experience in her past kind of professional life. She's retired now, but she's got her own apothecary business. She has over 30 years of experience in care management. So she's a great host, and she is a lifelong traveler. She does not want to stop. So you'll have a great time with Bobbi. She's a very, very experienced traveler.
That's awesome. And now that we've kind of teed up why Nanda Journeys, Why travel with us? Why travel with Bobbi? Let's talk about why Japan. Why Japan? Why now? There's a reason why we're going to Japan. So explain to us a little bit about the uniqueness of the destination and why it was chosen for this particular journey.
Yeah, Japan, it has a beautifully unique culture, right? So on the face of it, they appear very private and reserved. But they're not. They're so joyful and they want to share their culture. And they're in a huge transition themselves, both from a cultural perspective and from an aged population perspective. So culturally, a lot of their young people are moving away from the smaller areas. So they're wonderful old wooden homes, towns and villages, somewhat similar to France and Italy that lost a lot of their population from the small rural communities. That's something that's really a hot topic for them to try and maintain the integrity of their countryside and their smaller communities. Japan's stunning. The land of temples and Kyoto, Tokyo, very different places. And then we're very excited. The why now is let's go see Okinawa and let's see why there's so many octogenarians living down there and how do they get to such a wonderful age and still be healthy, active, and engaged in the community. So Okinawa is not on many typical tourist programs, I would say. For anybody that's familiar with Okinawa, they're probably more familiar with it being a US base, but it has a culture that is so unique. It's very, very close to China as well. So it has kind of a little bit of a combination of culture between China and Japan, very different than the mainland where Tokyo is. So we're excited to show you all of these wonderful cities in a very, well, we think, really unique way.
Yeah. And so, talking about the destination itself and the itinerary, I have to admit, Japan is something that's still on my bucket list. I have not had the pleasure of being there myself, but everything you're talking about are many of the reasons why I want to go there myself, and I'm jealous of the group that's traveling there next year. But
Me too.
our journey departs May 17th to the 25th, 2025. This 9-day, 7-night journey, one of those nights being overnight on a plane. It features 15 meals, 7 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 5 dinners. Our flight takes us into the city of Tokyo, where we spend 2 evenings in Tokyo. After that, we take the bullet train, which will be an experience in and of itself, over to Kyoto, where we'll spend 2 evenings in Kyoto as well, exploring the beautiful culture of Kyoto before flying down to what you had mentioned, Okinawa, which offers you a very, very unique viewpoint of the Japanese culture, still a part of Japan, but unique in its own right. Where we're actually, I think, having a homestay somewhere in this journey as well, which is exciting as well. We spend 3 nights in Okinawa and then we return home. As a part of this journey, although it's a journey of discovery and purpose and discovery, there is a theme. It is this longevity learning, this aging gracefully, and why Japan does it better than most. So there's a lot that talks about aged care and facility visits and things like that. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about this blue zone longevity learning that we have throughout the entire itinerary.
Yeah, so Okinawa specifically, like the Longevity Village, is one of the world's blue zones. There are not very many of them, but it's a place where people live to a great age. There's a higher percentage of the community and the population that lives to an age that is greater than the national average. So what we want to explore is how do we get there? But on the other side of things, how does the rest of the community ensure that they're taking account of the aging population? How do they care for them? How do they integrate? How do they provide for transportation and activities? So it's looking at, how can we potentially learn from this amazing aged community that also is super active? So we'll, of course, get involved in tea ceremonies and Zen meditation. We will actually go to an aged care facility as well. So you're probably saying, okay, I'm going on a cultural exploration of Japan. Why am I going to go to an aged care facility? It's just a really unique way of seeing how they are in Japan, really taking care of their aging population. They're the cornerstone, they're revered, they are the elders of the community. But they have a ton of fun. I've been to Okinawa and I had a cooking class with one of the ladies that was in her late 90s. and we had a blast. She dressed me up in her little cap and gown and everything, and we had a great time. So you'll get involved in cultural activities and you'll visit the longevity village. And for anybody out there that's a researcher or wants to know a little bit more about this, research Longevity Village, Japan. So many articles talking about how unique this place is. And I could probably guarantee that the person you talk to that's been to Japan, they probably haven't been to Okinawa, and they probably have not done a homestay.
Absolutely. And I think, this idea of a blue zone, to that point of this is where people are aging, or the average age is a lot higher than, the average age across the country. And so exploring that idea of what makes that or what causes that to happen is extremely interesting, and something that, even myself I'm extremely interested in just by watching this and looking at working on this itinerary. But above and beyond the aged, the blue zone longevity sites that we're going to be seeing, there's going to be a lot of cultural immersion, a lot of exploration. One thing that Nanda Journeys does well is getting immersed in the culture. Tell us a little bit about some of those culturally immersive activities that we have planned for us in this journey.
Yeah, well, we won't miss the highlights, your Tokyo city exploration and everything. We're not going to miss that. But things not to be missed in Japan. I mentioned earlier the land of temples and shrines and castles. So you'll get to visit many of those. Some of them are highlighted here. But everywhere you go, the Japanese garden theme, the beautiful green, lush landscapes, and you can see the little kind of stone temple kind of structure there in the back of that meditation tea ceremony.
Mhm.
They're everywhere. They're just, you're going to come home with thousands of pictures because it's so photogenic. Um, but also you'll experience the bullet train, like you mentioned earlier. That in itself is so unique. I wish we had fast bullet trains here in the United States. They're an art form, they're a mechanical wonder, they're culturally watching them be cleaned so efficiently, and the turnover time of into the station, out the station, that's an experience in of itself. The bento boxes, buying them at the station, it's just such a wonderful, wonderful destination. And then the homestay, staying with a family in a traditional home. I mentioned to you a lot of countries are now really challenged to protect the cultural heritage and really working hard to put that at the forefront of how can we make it a viable proposition for the young people. And one way of doing that is tourism. So
Yeah.
everybody wins. You get to meet new friends, have, a completely different experience, sleep on a tatami mat, but for those that are worried about, okay, sleeping on a tatami mat and I'm going to be in somebody's home, if you book a shared room with us, you'll have a shared room in the home. If you book a single room and you want your own room, you'll have your own room in a home. But I've done 3 Japanese homestays. Everyone's different, so I can't tell you what experience you're going to have, but I will tell you that you'll be speaking about your experience honestly for the rest of your life. It's mama-san and cooking with her, being part of the family. It's a truly remarkable experience.
That's awesome. A great way, I think, to bring that culture to the forefront and really experiencing the people. But this is just to give you a taste. This is just to get you interested and excited. So, those are some of the key highlights. If you are interested, please feel free to reach out to us. Our Japan journey again is May 17th to the 25th in 2025 next year, featuring 15 meals. The cost is $54.99 per person, land only, based on double occupancy. As Nicola had mentioned, if you are planning on traveling as a single, there is a single supplement of $9.99, so that would be additional to that $54.99. We are able to fly you anywhere from across the country into Tokyo and out of Okinawa. So, regardless of where you're joining us from, please reach out to our team here at Nanda Journeys to be able to book your flights. To hold your spot, the deposit due is only $500, which is fully refundable minus the $95 service fee if you do have to cancel. So this space is limited. We are only taking 20 travelers. If we go over 20, you will be waitlisted. So it's better to have that seat and not need it than to need that seat and not have it. So if you are interested, please sign up. We'd love to, or please reach out. We'd love to answer any questions or concerns that you have for our trip. If you have or are interested in getting more information, you can visit nandajourneys.com. Call us at 1-888-747-7501. Nicola and our team would be happy to connect with you about this amazing Japan journey. or shoot us a quick email at info@nandajourneys.com. Any final words or parting words for us, Nicola?
Yeah, please consider this wonderful journey to Japan. Both Bobbi and myself are available to talk to you about our personal experience traveling the Nanda Way. And I hope you can join us.
Awesome. And we also have a longer video. If you are interested, please feel free to reach out. We can send that with more details on the itinerary. Thank you so much for joining us for this video. We look forward to seeing you on the next Nanda virtual event. But more importantly, we look forward to seeing you in Japan in 2025. Thank you so much.